Ridley Scott is back with a huge cast. Cormac McCarthy is writing his first screenplay, and Javier Bardem is coming back, and he is Super Saiyan. Just look at him. Beautiful. What's going on, guys? I'm Modern Film Critic, reviewing this weekend's movies, starting off with The Counselor. A lot different from the other movie coming out this weekend. The Counselor stars, well, let's just go down the list. Michael Fassbender, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz, Javier Bardem, and Brad Pitt. And there's some other cameos in there too that I will mention later, including Dean Norris from Breaking Bad. Now, it is an interesting plot. We've got Michael Fassbender. His name is Counselor. No one really knows his name. Well, they may know his name, but they never refer to him as whatever his name is, John Doe or whatever. They just call him Counselor. And it's interesting, and I think it worked for this movie. And there is a situation going on with Javier Bardem's character, Reiner, I'm going to call him Reiner. He's involved with some drugs, and he's a part of the cartel, and he's pretty much a drug lord making a lot of money. And Counselor wants in, so he says, you know what? Let me take you up on that. Me and you we're gonna team up, and they're gonna make clubs. They're gonna live a good life if it works out for them. Michael Fassbender is with Penelope Cruz, which is actually Javier Bardem's current wife, and he wants to get married. He's struggling with some financial stuff, and that's why he gets into the drug thing. Javier Bardem's character Reiner, and do things go as planned? Not really, and that's where we got our movie. I will not elaborate much more than that because it's a great movie, and I know that's weird. I know that's weird coming from me because there have been so many negative reviews of this movie. It's been a mixed bag, but the bag is pretty much almost completely filled with negative reviews. I'm here to add to the positive side to that. Not only is it great, I actually really love this movie a lot. I was happy walking out because I was excited for this film. I was so pumped. Great cast. I'm not a fan of Ridley Scott. I hated Prometheus. I don't want to even talk about it. I hated Prometheus so much. Going into it, I saw the trailer. I was like, this looks great. We've got a great cast. This looks dark. It looks gritty. I'm excited. And then the reviews started coming out. And now I was like, I'm still going to go into it with an open mind. I hope this is a good movie. I was literally in the theater watching the trailers, almost shaking in excitement. I was also hesitant. I was like, I'm excited, but I didn't know what to expect. I was excited, but it was going to be it could have been bad, but walking out of it, I loved it. But I can see where people hate this film because of that D word. Dialogue. The dialogue is very heavy-handed in this movie. It's very intelligent. If you have seen Aaron Sorkin's new series, The Newsroom, is much like that. It's one of those situations where you look at that and say, no one on this earth would ever say that in that way, or tone, or timing. It's so bizarre, and it's McCarthy, he wrote the screenplay for this movie, and you can tell he went a little bit too far and over the top with it. Did it work? It did sometimes. I would say it did more than it didn't. A lot of times it worked and it was really cool, and there's a lot of moral, speeches and things like that. But then other times I was like, did you just say that? There are things that they said that just made me roll my eyes, but there were also things that they said that was actually pretty impressive and touched the heart just a little bit. I enjoyed parts of the dialogue. Other parts I was like, we could have done without that. But Michael Fassbender, he was great. He's our main character. He's Counselor. He's I don't know what else to say other than he's great. He's a great actor. I've always liked him, and this, he did not disappoint at all. Especially in the end. There's a scene where just my jaw dropped at this scene, and it was... Now, next on the list, we got Penelope Cruz. She isn't shown a lot. She is a little bit, mostly towards the beginning and slightly in the middle. And she does good. She's a really good actor. She's talented. And, she's with Michael Fassbender. And you want the relationship to work. You care about what's going on. You're invested. And you really want things to work out for Counselor and his girlfriend / fiancé. And we get to find out if it does or not. You'll have to see for yourself. Next, we got... I'm going to skip her for now. Cameron Diaz, I'm going to push you to the side. We're going to go to Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was really excellent in this film. He's been in the business for a while. He knows the ups and downs, and when things go not as planned, it gets serious, and Brad Pitt is pretty much like, dude, I don't know what to do. This is just, I don't know. Like that's in this movie. When things happen, when this one bad thing happens, he's like, I have no plan. I have no idea what to do in this situation. We were backed up in a corner, and I don't know. We just gotta bail. We just have to not die. We have to survive. Javier Bardem, which is my favorite performance in the movie, and he's this guy. He blew me away. Will he get nominated for an Oscar? Probably not, but if he did, I would be so happy, and I wouldn't be shocked, because I completely understand. He is fantastic in this movie. He is a chameleon at this point. You know, his hairstyles get crazier and crazier, but the more crazier they get, the better the performance, because we had him in No Country for Old Men with a crazy bowl haircut, and then you had him in Skyfall with the golden hair. Now you've got him, if you can see him in that picture, he's that guy with the sunglasses. He's got this spiked up, sort of purplish hair, and it's really cool because he's such a great actor. He plays he's rich. He's got cheetahs all over, and he's just awesome to watch. And you're like, I want to be that guy, but also I don't want to be that guy for reasons you'll see in the movie. And we're talking about Cameron Diaz now, who is his love interest, his girlfriend. The relationship is really, really interesting, and I won't reveal anything in this review, but when you see it, you sort of feel bad for Javier Bardem. Cameron Diaz was great in the movie. I really enjoyed her performance. She was probably my second or third favorite in the movie. Like I said, I loved Javier Bardem. Cameron Diaz is very, very just out of her normal character. She is, she pretty much dominates Reiner, which is played by Javier Bardem, and she's so good, and she worked, and she's sort of like a villain in this movie, actually, and when you see it, you know what I'm talking about. In a way, Cameron Diaz is one of those characters who she's fun to watch. She does great in this movie, but she's also hard to watch because she's probably the main hate interest, I guess you would call it, in this movie, because she's with Javier Bardem, and she pretty much dominates him. And that is why I'm going to post a spoiler-filled review of The Counselor in about 2 or 3 days. I want to make sure you guys have seen it before I actually, give you spoilers, so you can watch it. So go out and see The Counselor, come back to my spoiler-filled review. I love this soundtrack. I thought it was very driving. I thought it added a lot. This one really stuck out for me in some of the moments, especially towards the end with Brad Pitt. This movie is very graphic, and it's very hard to watch, but it's fun too. It's entertaining, and the dialogue, it's a little bit too much, and like I said, you hear the dialogue and you're like, no one would ever say that ever. It's like if someone took a simple sentence and stretched it out as long as they can and added a bunch of big words just to sound intelligent. That pretty much describes some of the dialogue in this movie. Other than that, I loved it. I loved watching this movie. I was entertained. I was invested all the way through. I'm going to go 4.75. In the middle of 4.5 and a 5. I couldn't get it to 5 because of some of the dialogue, but I'm going 4.75 out of 5 for The Counselor. I don't like Ridley Scott's work. I hated Prometheus, but he did great with this. And Cormac McCarthy's first screenplay, I think he did pretty good, minus some dialogue struggles that he had. But other than that, go check it out. You may hate it. You may think I'm completely wrong, but I love this movie. 4.75.